Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to WLTK-DB, the Psychic Hour. Gosh, it is Friday. Welcome. I'm Kelly Brickle, and we are having our interview show today with Debbie Romero. She's a medium, and she's a mentor. She has students of her own, and she has a podcast, so we'll be diving into that. And just to talk about some of the events we have coming up. Hello, Joanna. As well, you can find me and a group of other master teachers and Lisa Williams helping to be a part of Unleash the Psychic within Tampa. And that's in Florida. That's the 7th through the 12th. And that's an intensive in person if you're curious about developing your psychic skills and being led by Lisa Williams. She's a world-renowned psychic medium. Excellent. Then we have an event with Allison Gannon, and she's putting together a psychic readings fair, and it's people from around the world offering readings, and you get like a collection of them. You get like 3 readings, and you ask if you want psychic or mediumship or whatever they have to offer. Everyone's different, and it's just an event where you can sample and try different readers. It's really wonderful, and the proceeds go to benefit cancer donations for Allison and what she's been going through within her life. And so everyone's welcome to be a part of it, and everyone's enthusiastic to come together for a supportive community. So that's on the 17th. And then on the 18th, there's an online mediumship demonstration. Diet Renee and myself, we're doing one in the afternoon. And so that is up. That will be at 3 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Pacific. And it's a 90 minutes reading event to connect you to your loved ones and messages. And so we have some nice things coming up in December. And if you're curious, check out my website, and more information will be up as we get into December. So thank you so much. All right. Yeah, I know. Just a lot going on with events. Just have to make sure we talk about them. Something else that I want to always share is the topic of the day, because that gives inspiration, that opens up the energy. And really, what I want to talk about is letting yourself be led. Letting yourself be led, because we find ourselves in so many different places in life, and there's reasons why we're there. Most times we go, why do I have to do this today? Or, wow, I have a lot coming up. Or, I'm really interested in this or that. And we find ourselves in places where we often don't fully, I guess, intend to show up at, or don't fully intend to manifest. That's what I'm trying to say. But we're led in so many different ways. And it's funny because a lot of times manifestation, people believe that it's so like mind focused. Like we have to shape an intention. We have to shape, a desire. We have to like really formulate it in our mind. And honestly, like spirit is actually working with us around the clock 24/7, and they're already leading us in places and in ways that we quite didn't intend, but our energy did and spirit did. And so I encourage you, in every moment that you can remember and be aware of in some way, to just embrace the moment and embrace to be spirit led. Because I say that in a way for people who are working on their intuition, for people who are readers or have been practicing. A lot of times they'll start talking and they're like, oh gosh, I would never say this. Why does this come to mind? Or why did I pull this card? Or, this doesn't feel right. And it's funny because that's a great sign. I know that sounds odd because it's like you would think you have to feel it. I want to feel the energy. I want to see the energy. I want to hear the spirit, right? You would think that would come forth, and absolutely not necessarily, because when you don't feel like it's something that it would be of your own choosing or your own nature, actually you're in the energy. You're in the energy of the universe. You're in the energy of spirit, because it's no longer, oh, Kelly would choose this or someone else would choose this by Kelly's own mind, right? By my own mind. My mind has left the building and something else is guiding me beyond myself, something that I could just not put together myself. And that's honestly some of the best manifestation energies you can be in. And that's like the height of being in a reading, you know? And you have to learn to like trust and surrender into, wow, I would never say those things. Yeah, you wouldn't, because you're not in your own energy. You're in that spirit connection, or you're being guided by the presence of something greater than yourself. And I talk about the God and universe, the intelligence of the universe a lot. And so everyone has different belief systems. So I very much honor just talking about the collective in a more open-minded way, because we have such a large perspective of different people within the audience. It's important to talk about that. Am I fine now? Okay. I must have clicked something. Isn't that so funny? Okay. So I don't know where I clicked it, and I'm just gonna trust it. Um, and I love it because like Debbie, she gave me like a little sign just now, so we're already starting the connection, this energy. She's like, "Oh, your mic," and I'm like, "Thanks, girl." And um, just trust that wherever you are, right? Whether you expected it, whether you're kind of dragged along, whether you're like, I guess I'll go do this. There's a reason for it. And you know, every moment shapes us. And the things that shape us the most are the things that we actually most times don't choose ourselves. Yes, some of the big ones are self manifested. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge believer in co creation, but that's the whole word, co creation. Co creation. And in order to co create, you have to be a good partner. And in order to lead, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. In order to lead, you have to serve. There's all these components that must go together. And the co part of it is the unity part. It really is. And so just imagine, manifestation and co-creation comes from so many things, so many angles. And I just invite you to think about what happens where you have been led places, or you are going places where there has been beautiful surprises, or that you lean into going, you know what, maybe I was supposed to come here because I was supposed to just cheer someone up today. Maybe I was supposed to come here because, yeah, I would have preferred to chill out at my house, or maybe done something more conventional at work. But now I'm in a place where I feel different, and pushing myself or changing the vibration. Yeah, I don't feel as comfortable, but now I feel different, and that's what I needed. And and why would we ever manifest to feel uncomfortable? I want to give that to you. Why would we ever manifest to feel uncomfortable? There's a million options, billion, et cetera out, so I'm sure someone has manifested that. But it's like, why would we intend to feel discomfort? And a lot of the changes that come across our way, or a lot of the moments before we meet something beautiful and wonderful and surprising, it has that element in there. It really does. So it's like, just you don't need the same signs to know that something is working. You know how we're always looking for signs. Am I supposed to go here? Am I supposed to do this? Am I pulling the right card? Will God give me a sign? Will the universe give me a sign? Okay, if I get it like this, like thumbs up, and it's just like, no, just, you've already put that out there. You've already put that out there. And so the road to get there, that is not always known. So you might have the most uncomfortable road. Let's hope it's days, not years, but we're going to just, example, you might have the most uncomfortable road for a couple days to get to what you asked to manifest. And you're exactly smack dab on that road. And you got to trust. You got to trust, because the manifestation comes from not how you ordered it up. And I want it to go like this, and I'm going to see this and that. Manifestation comes from asking and receiving with that trust and surrender. And so as long as the seed's been planted, I would say be grateful for how things are showing itself to you through that. Be grateful, have hope, and just walk through the process. Just walk through the process and embrace surprises. So that's what came today. And hello, Stephanie. Oh, hey. Hello, Jessie Cat. Hello, Sherry. It's nice to see you, Stephanie. Very cool. So everybody, we're going to take a break. We'll be back and we'll be talking with Debbie. So see you in a few. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Today is fun. It really is. And that's okay. We are in an attitude 5-day. I just got to say, and when you're in an attitude 5-day, you never know what's going to happen. 5 is the number of chaos and surprises. So speaking of surprises, and I'm okay with that, you just got to go with the flow, right? I think it's going to work now. So we're going to take a break in a moment, and well, actually now. We'll see you in a moment. Now I'm twisting it up. So see you in a few. Ta-da.
Want to keep up with the latest at the station? How about catch up on your favorite shows on the go? Download the free WLTK-DB mobile app on the App Store and Google Play. Watch, listen, and shop right from the palm of your hand. The WLTK-DB mobile app. The truth is here and now. Get yours today.
We're back. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pete. Hey, thanks, Pete. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Trudy. Welcome, everybody. Hello. Yeah, what a fun day. We have a storm going out on, and just like around Illinois. So we were in and out there for a second, but we got Todd back. So that's good. And I muted myself earlier. So you just got to embrace the fun of it. You really do. I love it. I want to now embrace Debbie for coming in. So we're going to bring Debbie in. Hello.
Hi, love.
Oh,
Hey.
Hi. I want to introduce you to everybody.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Debbie Romero is an evidential medium and host of the podcast Transcend with Debbie. She holds space collectively to bring forward presence, healing, memories, symbols that life is eternal. She believes
Soul-to-soul connection is one of the most precious gifts one can receive. Teaching has brought Debbie great joy of witnessing the transformations and miracles of her students within this work. Welcome, Debbie.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly, for having me as a guest. It's an honor to be here with your listeners.
Oh, it's an honor to have you on. I just saw you recently in October.
Yes.
Yes, you were at OC Paracon, and
Was.
it was great to touch base with you then. And what have you been up to? You have the podcast, you have your Facebook group, you've been doing some demonstrations online. Like, you're all over the place. Every time I kind of just see what you have going on, I'm like, oh, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. I had the honor to take a moment to reflect on my year. It's been a great year. I know I came onto your podcast and you're like, girl, you're a number 8. And I'm like, yes, I'm an 8 this year. Let's flow with that abundance and love. And so seeing you in person at the LC Paracon was so fun. I had a great time. It was a great opportunity in a different experience, as platform mediums going into the paranormal, totally different type of like, whoa, this is so cool, right? um and just going and holding space for the spiritualist churches. That's, every month I'm going and donating my time, and had the honor and privilege to work with so many great souls and just being able to deliver messages for them. It's been fun.
Yeah, you're reminding me. So you're doing spiritual poetry actually coming up too.
Yeah. Can you believe that? My girl, Jennifer Rose, she's like, Debbie, can you do some poems? And I was like, I could do a poem. So there's a couple that I wrote. I wrote about 2 or 3. So she's got me in this new little way of working. And when you're coming in the church, you're opening up in prayer, you're closing in prayer. There is a moment where you will speak and you will share inspiration. So it's been a great growth for me, a great opportunity. Definitely, as you said, honoring what things that come to you that you've manifested, and whatever that looks like. I would have never dreamed that I've been in the positions that I have been this year, and it's been great.
With this year, you said that it was, kind of a whirlwind. Well, I see it.
Yeah.
Well, last year and the year before, since we're talking about which we just happened to be talking about manifesting,
Yeah.
what were some of the things that you put out into the universe?
So I got to tell you, Kelly, it was really interesting. We were in COVID, right? And I was supposed to do an in-person retreat. And so a lot of things were put on hold, and we went into online Zoom, which took us international. Like, we were just working with every medium and connecting. It's been a beautiful experience. And I said to Spirit, right before summer, I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do some public stuff. I'm ready to go into the public eye, because, there's a hesitation that we have with this work, and there's a cautious and mindfulness that comes with it. And so I made that decision to say, okay, I'm ready to be seen. And I ended up doing my first pop-up out here locally. I'm in Ventura County. And from there, I ended up doing the Ventura County Paracon. And that is where I met most of the gentlemen that from the OC Paracon, but we're also affiliated here in the Ventura Paracon. So met some really cool connections and started doing some investigations, which have been really fun, and taking me to another platform of being able to experience spirit in a different way with evidence and equipment, and taking it to a whole nother level. And because I asked, I'm ready to be seen in public, then I went and did the OC Paracon. Then I got to do, TV show, or a guest on a TV spot on LA TV. And then, I got to do some behind the scenes stuff. So be careful what you ask for. Spirit's gonna be like, here you go, girl. There you go, boy. That's what's up.
Yeah, for real. Like, delivery accepted. So you tell me about that. So what was your experience at the Paracons? That what you learned, what you immersed yourself into, and then also you said you had a TV appearance. What was that like for you as well?
So if we go into the LC Paracon or the Ventura County Paracon, it was so much fun. A lot of my clients that always saw me on Zoom got to meet me in person, which was nice. And we got to do a little hands-on energy work there, and kind of just doing the readings and giving hugs and just honoring them as souls, right? So one, just getting that connection of who we really are. Like, hey, I see you. It's so cool to see you. And that was one with the with the Ventura County Paracon. And when I go into the OC Paracon, I really had the opportunity to sit and to hear the stories of others who do the investigation, who go into the homes and to get the history. And, that wasn't an area that I was open to. I was learning and I was growing. And as I sat there and I was hearing one of the young ladies talk about the Queen Mary and how it's alive and how, the spirit is there, and looking at how the equipment picks up the different energies around the souls that are working. Um, for me, I was able to take that and use that in one of the investigations that I got to be part of with Glen Tavern here locally. Um, I truly now know what they mean when it's alive. The building is alive. Literally walking in spirit, you're in that place of like, boom, spirit is here. You're with the person and they're like melding and gelling. And everywhere you sit, there's some type of connection made. It was really awesome.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the inspiration that you've received, how do you see your mediumship developing going forward with, sampling from people's passions and expertise?
For me, I just honor what comes through. I'm very much a conduit for spirit. And I always say I work for spirit in the way that they need me. When it comes down to the TV shows or, when you're coming in on a guest, it's very intimidating. It's a lot of things that happen very quickly. Sometimes you're waiting very long before you go in. And so you're trying to get the power, you're sitting in the power, you're bringing the meld, the blend, the intent, and then you get there and it's like 2 or 3 hours later. It can be it's a process and your body's getting used to it. Then you're driving there, you're getting there, so there's a lot of things that play into that you got to take into account, right? So for me, with my mediumship and where it's at now, I've always worked in a way that's very different. I feel like I don't put a label to what I'm doing. I just kind of let spirit come in the way they need to. So I honor spirit. And then if I'm doing something for others where it's an investigation, I'm there for them. So however they need me, I'm going to show up for them. And so that's my commitment for spirit and for those who choose to work with me.
How did you start your spiritual journey? How did you start your mediumship journey? How did it unfold?
For me, what happened was I really had a huge sensitivity of my awakening. There's some will say trauma, life situations, and I've had a lot of that, whether you can say I'm born or I just had a whole lot of different life experiences, right? And when you go into that, you're trying to go into that deeper healing for self. And so for me, that was the first step, is taking initiative to bring healing for me. I remember a lady posting, one of my first mentors posted just a really gentle scenery of where she was and how she took in the rocks and the ocean and the waterfalls and the greenery around her. And my soul just went to that place immediately. So I knew that I was getting into that trance. Oh, I didn't know then, but now I knew I was in that trance healing moment with her because she took me there on that journey by just her post. And so I continued to reach out to her. I started meditation with her. That was my routine, 7 days, every Sunday I would go, but then I incorporated it for myself in the ways that it worked for me. And I did that, and everything just started to unravel. I went into Reiki. I became a Reiki master teacher. I went and continued the development. As you know, it never stops. The knowledge and the education of it is so important, and the growth. We're always transcending, right? So there's so many things that I have learned and taken pieces because of my own personal journey for my own self-healing. So what I am today is because of the work that I'm doing for me.
So you said that whether it was just kind of like a meditation with the person who called you, you started becoming very energy sensitive, and
Mm-hmm.
you reached out to that woman, and she, well, it was you who made the commitment. You actually
Yes.
made the commitment of, I'm coming every week, and that's something major because a lot of people I know have questions in that. A lot of students have questions in that, like, what do I do next? How do I grow my, abilities? I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And it's just like, you made the commitment to,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to explore this and learn about myself every week. And that's honestly the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah. And I think what happens is really you're investing in yourself. self-care, self-love, self-worth. And yes, you took the initiative to take the deeper healing. For me, it was having a team. And of course, when you're in that energy, you elevate on your own naturally. So things begin to shift, things begin to move around, and your lifestyle changes. And so for me, I remember going into meditation, and the girl goes, "You're in here?" I was like, "Well, do I not belong here?" so, so
Whoa.
so we all it's a surprise when you're like, ta-da, this is what you get. We all need that inner love. It's you never know how the universe is going to place us in someone's hands. You never know.
It's true. Like, there's so many different people from different backgrounds
Hmm.
that seek peace and tranquility, or something that led them there. And sometimes you show up in your class and you're like, wow, I wouldn't have expected, like, maybe the people around me or one or two to be here, but thus they are here.
Yes.
And it's just like everyone's a soul. Everyone's a soul. So why not?
Yeah. And it's about honoring all of us. We're one. At the end of the day, we are all connected. We're all that one heart, one mind, trying to raise the vibration and frequency for everybody. It just takes a minute for everyone to get on the same page. And then so at the end of the day, we're cool. We're friends. We grew up together and we're still friends. So she was like, "Girl, I'm so happy for you. So it's all good."
It's all good. Um, so you went from meditating, and then were you already having mediumship experiences, or did that open things up? Did the Reiki open that up?
Honestly, I was already super sensitive since I was young. I was already feeling into things. Prayer was my first opening, going into prayer, going into church. And then, of course, you just know things, but you just don't know how you know them. And I didn't really know the word medium. I didn't understand, like, oh, this is a word for what we're doing. And with Reiki, that really began to open up that next step or that next journey for me. And then from there, I went into trance. And then from trance, I did some goddess work. And from goddess work, I went into Munaki, shamanic journey. So, it doesn't stop. For me, I just continued and continued. And it was all for me. And whatever flowed through me was holding space now for others. And so it's about taking care of yourself and integrating everything that you created for yourself in the moment of your journey.
With shamanism and Reiki, or the other things that you were doing, what moments like really broke you open or gave you those ahas, like I'm supposed to be here, or now I understand?
I think we go through those roller coasters of like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Because paranormal was not something that I thought I would ever do, and I'm really experiencing that. I have a girlfriend that's out here locally and has invited me to like one of the biggest haunted places in California, which is the Glen Tavern, and going in there, I truly could see like right how it opens up. So when we go into our journey, the aha moment was first Reiki. I knew that I wanted to heal myself. I knew I wanted to hold space for family, for my children. I knew that changes had to be made so that life can be different for us based on life experiences and things that we've gone through as family or just in general as individuals, right? So there was an aha moment there. And then I will say, after the goddess work, really going into that dark night soul, like the healing of all that work, um, you really lose that yourself. You really, really have to go deep into your shadow, into what you're fearing, and you're really going in. For me, I really went through a place of where I was really going through stuff because you also got to look at what are you going through in your life in a personal way, in your own physical world, what are you going through? And that's going to change your perspective of the aha moments. So I've had many different layers of who I am where my journey changes. And I think that's okay, where we ebb and flow with it.
Yeah.
So I had multiple aha moments,
Oh,
and I
sure.
and I integrate and I get right back up and I go, oh, let me correct this, right? And so we make the subtle shifts and we go back in and we're like, all right, let me do it this way. So it's always spirit led, and there's always a lesson and a great experience from it.
Yeah, like from every different angle, we can have an aha moment, whether it's like introspection within our life, or like healing things from the past, how we can be better within our life, or even our connection with spirit. Like, wow, I didn't know that was possible. And
Yeah.
so you brought up something I think that's really wonderful that's not always talked about. You said part of the reason that you started to get into energy work is you're like, I wanted to improve my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk about how that has evolved for you?
Well, what's beautiful about it is first, for me, is honoring what their lives were like. First, we'll go to the mom and to my father and the relationships that I was raised with. I had a single mother, a father that is in my life, but I don't, they were divorced. So there were different things and life experiences that I've gone through with both of them. And so it allowed me to reflect on what they went through and to see spirit show me in readings or in journeyings of what they felt like and how they were going through the situation as my mom or my father. So it gives you an awareness, a heightened awareness of like, let's understand why things are the way they are. Let's give it compassion and forgiveness. So you're surrendering and forgiving the situations. So for me, it just gave me a wider perspective to see things differently. And for me, I can go in and still be part of their lives and be able to honor them for who they are and where they're at as individuals.
Yeah, and that takes an incredibly strong um, surrender and mentality and heart. So I commend you for having that intention within your spirituality. I think that's wonderfully powerful. Someone actually comments, so I think this is a natural extension off of what you're talking about too. What's crazy, the more we grow spiritually, we lose a lot of close friends and families.
That is so true. What happens is people say that we're all on different vibrations, right? But it's really true. We get very misunderstood. I'll give you an example. Oh, Debbie's praying to her rocks, my crystals. We're taught to work with our crystals at some point in our journey. And so for instance, I'll hold my little green heart here and they're like, oh, Debbie's up there praying or to her rocks. So we can be very misunderstood and you touched on this earlier, Callie, is that we want to honor our belief systems and how we were raised and how we were taught, but we're also misunderstood. So we got to educate ourselves. What is a medium? What do they do? What is it that you're fearful of? And why are you afraid to open that door or to understand it deeper? It's just going to give you such a relaxation of like, that wasn't so bad. Like that was like, it's all good. Like I can communicate with Debbie and it's not going to be a problem. And that's, I think that you touched on that. Everyone's magic is different, and we want to respect the level of how they work because it's their magic. But if you're in here and you're trying to understand someone's magic, ask them, what is it that you're doing? Find more, go into depth with them, communicate with them so that there isn't that fear base in what we do, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of isolation, or I'm going to go this way, you're going to go that way, happens because there is that miscommunication and there's the preconceived notions. And a lot of this work, we're coming out of it. We're coming out of it as individuals, as a society, really. There's a lot of fear, like just on a fundamental level, there was a fear of sharing emotion, right?
Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
fear of like, oh, well, if you tune into anything but your logic and your reason, you can get bamboozled. And it's just like, actually, tuning into your feelings and tuning into your energy, it's a whole other network of intelligence that
Yes.
enhances who you are. It doesn't disarm you. It actually like makes you even stronger and well equipped.
Yes.
And so, when people experience that in different levels, they can start to go, oh, okay, I'm willing to talk about this. Actually, this is a good thing. But yeah, a lot of people are like, I don't I don't want anything to do with this, and they haven't even had an experience. Especially, how can I put this, Debbie? And I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Hmm.
The preconceived notions are of stories we've been told or bad things that have happened to other people. And they're like, oh, yeah, the last time I had an association, it's because of this and this and this, and you shouldn't get involved with that. Well, you're discounting then your loved one, whether it's your friend or family member, because you're not seeing it through their experience and their eyes. And you're literally rejecting a loved one.
Yeah. I think too, a lot of times some others are not ready for the message when they're in that grief process. Where are they in their grief, right? So we want to look at where are they sitting in grief. And a lot of times I've had it twice where someone's like, oh no, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want them coming in. I don't want to hear that message because they were upset from something that they hadn't been able to express their side of the story yet or
Oh, you
be
like
heard
that?
on
Okay.
a reading. Are you saying it in general with
Oh,
anyone in general?
I know, I would love to hear that perspective too, but I guess like when I was like unifying like loved one and spirit and human. So it's like you're literally, I guess, rejecting your human loved one's experience for them sharing their point of view within their life because you're like, no, I have fear associated for what you've now involved yourself in or what your curiosity or passion is.
I had a conversation with someone like that at one point, and it got really personal. And their perspective was, that's really bad what you do. You're working on a really negative with negative spirits and bad. It's a bad situation. And I looked at him and I said, I'm a woman of God. I have faith. I'm a loving person. My person, who I am as a person. Um, you should know that I'm a great person. At the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. However, it's their belief system and how they look at it. So I'm not there to, before I would try to educate and change. Now it's like, it's not even worth visiting if it's someone that doesn't honor you who you are and what you do. It's not going to affect you because you're still in your power, you're doing you, and that is not going to hurt your feelings. In the beginning it can because it's very raw, you're vulnerable and you're trying to come out in your truth. And so when you're in your truth, you're almost in that point of like, I got to prove what I can do and this has got to be validated. And that's the ego. You're letting the ego die. And so once you get into that higher self, you're not going to allow their feelings to really touch you because you're going to still keep going forward. But it can be hurtful. Yes, it will hurt you.
Wonderfully said. You are letting the ego die.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
That's really powerful. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, this work invites us to let the ego die.
Yeah. It does. It's like when you're in that competitive state and you're wanting to correct someone's feelings, that's the ego. And if that person's not going to see your perspective, that's okay. It's not for them to be in that because it's your journey. Our work in this world is private, it's personal, it's sacred. And so when you're in your path and in your truth, nothing else is going to disturb your peace.
Yes, yes. And it's just like I feel truly that life is unexpected. So, whether it's how people see, let's say you or me, or how we see another person, we don't know how it's supposed to unfold. Like, actually, all of us could be going from a completely backwards place because when we finally reach our destination, we're like, wow, I love
Yeah.
that contrast. Wow, what a 180. Like I needed this shift.
Yes.
And who knows what that shift was supposed to be or how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I welcome that.
Yeah, I always love going into those big shifts and when things are moving, I remember being in class and she's like, Dad, what do you see? I'm like, honestly, I went in and got some amazing healing messages. I ain't getting nothing but energy, and I'm going to honor that. That's what was coming in, and that's what you honor.
Yeah. No, I love that. People focus on like relationships and names, and I do think that's needed if that's what naturally happens. But it's just like whatever you get was that what is whatever you get, and there's certain phases we all go through, and we have to I think really embrace the fact that whatever I get in the moment is enough. And I think that's really hard to fully accept. Like,
Mm,
I always accept, but I'm always learning how to accept that on another level, right? Because
yeah,
it's like a trifecta. You go, oh, I'm receiving, I'm relaying, and then I'm aware of possibly even how my recipient feels, and to like
yeah,
just let it, like the ego death of it all, just, whatever is needed is needed, whatever
yeah.
comes is enough.
Most definitely. And I think, and spirit is so intelligent. What comes forward is exactly what's needed. I remember my mentor just recently telling me, Debbie, I'm very hesitant sometimes based working in the spiritualist church, and I'm mindful of how I come forward with the evidence. And she's like, Debbie, spirit is so intelligent. They're not going to give you that piece of evidence if they're not ready to hear it. So what is shared with us is what's ready to be shared.
Yeah, I do
Hmm.
agree. I do agree with that. And we can feel where it's really coming from, and to
Hmm.
follow that and trust it. Because the reason I say that is because I think we all have, and I'm gonna say hi to Pete really quick, and Jackie and
Hey,
Brenda.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete's coming. I'm gonna actually take Pete's question in just a second here, but
Okay.
I actually want to acknowledge kind of what you were saying too. Like, we all have that little voice inside of us, and
Hmm.
so to continue to like lean into just what's coming in, because a part of us might go, oh, but spirit, I want to ask about this, I want to ask about this, and honestly, spirit gets to ask all the questions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, okay, all right, it's up to you. I'm not even gonna be flustered, I'm not even gonna be worried. But so with Pete, oh, did you want to say something, Debbie, on that?
Oh, I was going to say a lot of times when you're already coming in as a sitter, in your mind, you're already thinking, I need to know this, this, and this, and this. And spirit is so intelligent, they're going to answer those questions in the reading automatically, naturally, as it flows, because they know this is what you're wanting. And if it comes through, they're speaking for you, for the healing for you, and just giving that extra additional, like, I'm with you, I hear you, I'm seeing what's up. And so, for me, I love when that happens. Not all the time does it happen. And sometimes it could be just, it's not something they want to discuss or go into. So you got to understand, we are working for spirit. Yes, the sitter is coming in, but spirit is who we're reading for. So
Yeah,
if you look at it that way, it's so different.
it's so different, and to focus on like spirit and not the worry.
Yeah.
um you know um it's so powerful. So Pete is asking, how much of a challenge have you found in letting your ego die? I love it.
Well, P. we always we always go back to the subtle shifts, and we kind of bring our center back. Okay, oh no, girl, you're getting a little competitive. I played some basketball, so I love to go out there and win. And I was like this football athletic girl, like, so I know what it's like to be like, let's go, let's go. It takes time. And it took me years to really go into the fear of, like, okay, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid to do that, or like I didn't want to hurt. In my sessions, I was seeing some crazy stuff, and I was like, I don't want to hurt this person. So it was like, who am I to say I'm hurting them? It's spirit doing the work. And it took a minute to finally say, okay, I'm going to surrender this. So, Pete, I feel that when you have ego, and when we're in our ego, because it's natural to have ego, it's part of our human birth, right? We're pre-human. So it's okay. There's healthy when there's different layers of it. And I feel like, just if it catches your attention, just say, oh, let me make this little shift back to spirit and higher self, which is love, truth. And it's like, you'll know when you're out of alignment. You'll know, oh, that's not loving. Oh, that's not spirit. You'll know. So tap into that when you're feeling into it. Is it love? Is it truth? How does that feel? It's we, not me. And that's important. It's collective, it's humanitarian work that we're doing. So it's not about us, it's about spirit in the community. So when you find yourself out of that alignment, bring it back and be like, why and where are we at with this?
Yeah, yeah, very wisely put. Like, we know when we're out of alignment, and I think like one of the most natural things that we do is then all of a sudden we find ourselves overthinking. Did I do this right? Or what about this? What? And that is
Yeah.
the showcaser.
Yeah, I do that though. In my work, sometimes I will say, "Oh my gosh, I should not have said that," or "Oh my gosh, okay, let me work on that." But I think that goes back to our confidence, and there's a little difference there. Like we're working on ourselves to say, "How can we work on this so that we can grow from it in a different way?" So that's working on looking at it in a different way, and building our confidence up and saying, "Okay, we can do this. We know what we're doing. Let it be spirit led, and we'll be okay."
I agree. So I'm curious. You said like, oh, I shouldn't say this. So in my experience, every single time I've thought I shouldn't say this in a reading, it comes out well. But every single time I say it, I don't know about every single time, but a lot of times when I go, I shouldn't say this if it's like a family member or something, but it's like a
Yeah.
hard hitting truth. I usually regret it because they're I could feel they were uncomfortable. But in a reading, when I go, I shouldn't say this. Actually, I should say it. Like, I
Yes.
always get the strongest hits with that.
Yeah. And when it's so funny when you say family. I try not to read family. Like I try to I
Oh, I
really
don't need
do.
stuff
Oh,
comes. You know what I mean?
yeah. And so I'm very mindful because it's again, we're gonna go back to belief system. Why? What happened? What's gonna happen? Oh my gosh, what did you get? So I try not to scare them also.
How can I put this? How can I have to explain myself better? Because you're right. You're right. So I'll just be in a normal conversation, and I'll just be like, it's not that I'm reading. It will just be, something about them because it's like you have a relationship with them and you're just like, look, like this is really important, like you're overlooking this or something, or like, and they're just like, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to, you know what I mean, like it's not your
Yes.
place. But it's just like, whoa, everyone knows that it's not like I'm telling you something crazy.
See, you're like the woman of truth. I'm walking Cali truth. Here, let me just tell you what it is. So cute.
It's a little extra sometimes on my part. I try my best.
No, but truth is good. And if you're saying it and you say I shouldn't say it and you say it's the biggest hits, keep doing you, girl.
Correct. But yeah, no, like I think it's like beautiful to talk about too, because when someone comes to a reading, they're consenting, tell me about myself or tell me about my loved ones. And then you have to be brave there. But right, with friends and family, even if you're not trying to read them, even sometimes if you're just naturally connecting because you're having a conversation from the heart,
Mhm.
sometimes people go, oh, that's unsolicited, because they're not looking to be sometimes that vulnerable or cracked open. They didn't come to you to hear a truth sometimes, right?
Yes.
In a reading, different story, different story. It's really fascinating, isn't it? Sometimes we have to, I guess, we have to give ourselves permission because we're in that role.
Yeah. I try my best not to read people that I don't know, and I don't go up to people and read. In the beginning, when we're in the ego and we're trying to be like, "Oh, was this? Am I feeling this right?" And that's where you get that connection to a circle, so that we can practice that work and really get into that. And I love how you say we're getting the consent from the actual sitter to come in. They're coming in. It's so delicate. You're giving us permission to go into your spirit, your soul, your essence of who you are. So when you're reading with a medium or a psychic or someone intuitive, you're allowing them to pull onto your energy into your personal space. It's so sacred. And so there is a gratitude of saying, may I have permission to come in this way? So there's an honor there that I honor you, you're honoring me. Let's go. Let's let spirit come in. It's a respect.
It's a respect, and I guess we got into this kind of discussion with Pete and the ego, and
Freaky Pete. Yeah.
it's just like ego lessons from when, or just like living lessons with being a
Yes.
human versus being in the role and having someone give you consent to be a reader is a completely different way you live your life.
Yes, really is. It's a responsibility that we carry in this work. There is a level that I have to be mindful. Even when I'm just conversing, they're like, "Oh, what did you feel?" And I'm thinking, I'm not even working. I'm just talking to you. Like, this is not a read. Sometimes
Yeah.
I found myself saying, I'm not reading you. I'm just talking to you. And
Exactly.
and the energy that flows through us, the power that flows through us, it's felt. And so it can be intimidating when we're in conversation. So we got to let's like, hey, this is me. It's all good. Like it's not, it's cool. Like, let's keep it cool. It's not, I'm not trying to get in your business. Got my own business.
Yeah, yeah. It's just different lessons across the board, and I think for some people who are not even aware of, let's say, you're a reader, or some people who are, you're gonna get different reactions and conversations from that when you just live your life in authenticity to you.
Yes. It's felt. I believe when you're in your truth and you're really walking your path and you're honoring where you're at, the energy it's just going to be heartfelt. You're holding space and anchoring the light for so many by just being you. A lot of times people ask, what is my soul reason, my passion, what am I supposed to be doing in my life? And I say, just be you. Do you see how powerful you are by just standing there as you carry the light and the torch of spirit within your heart? And you're just anchoring that in for so many. It's really
How
powerful.
how has your life changed, or the environment around you even changed by honoring that for yourself just by being you?
I find that I like do not allow myself to get caught up in like lower, like I'm not gonna say lower, but just bitterness, just drama. Like I'm like, oh girl, that's too bad, and I keep it going. I'll keep it moving. You honor the situation, but you're not part of the situation, so there's a difference. You don't interact with the game. You continue and you move. You play a different way. It's like a
Yeah.
game of chess, and
And you're aware.
I stay in my queen status.
In your queen status. Most powerful piece on the board, the queen.
Yeah, yeah.
And the most flexible. And yeah, those nuances you talked about, like kind of the game of life sometimes and how it goes about, and you're just aware of more the nuances because you're talking about, like, bitterness, the energy of bitterness. It's like in the beginning times when the bitterness is tangy, it's so tangy, it's spicy, we go, oh no. But then, that bitterness can be very subtle in how we choose to go. I choose not to go there, or I choose to, I'm aware of this is what's going on. I've received the heads up, and you put yourself in different places.
Yeah, and I think as an intuitive, for me, I do get information in advance, like, okay, this is what my day is going to be like. I kind of get a little bit of impressions of what and who I'm going to work with and how, and so I know they'll come into my day, and I prepare and I do my routine, I ground, I clear my energy field, and I get my day started. And so there's a lifestyle that I chose to work to live by, and it's for me because I'm holding space. It's a responsibility for hygiene and spiritual hygiene, and to be in my truth and to be that clear channel for spirit and for those that I work with. So it's important to continue that type of routine as well. Mhm.
Uh, you mentioned a very significant word, lifestyle.
Yes,
Lifestyle.
yes,
Can you talk more about that too? Because um I think it's dynamic because, yeah, your lifestyle changes. Like for myself, I have to take salt baths, or I take
yes,
more showers to cleanse my energy. I have to have more alone time. And if I don't do that because my lifestyle has indeed changed, and if I
yeah.
don't support that, I don't function properly. I have to live my life by new rules, and there's a bunch of other rules besides that.
Yeah. You know what's at first, I think when you develop the routine, everyone starts to understand there's a change. You're different, and what happens is the meditation, you figure, I'm going every Sunday. And because I'm going every Sunday, that's already created a change in my lifestyle. I devoted my time to go into this class every Sunday. That's my hygiene, that's my meditation, that's me getting the connection. That's me allowing to build the power for me in spirit. That's my moment. Then you continue that and everyone starts to feel the shift. What do you mean you're going to go, right? And of course, there's knowledge, and so you want to learn and grow, and how you invest your time with lectures, workshops, circles, teachers, mentors. You're also now choosing to be part of something bigger, to understand what are you feeling and what you're going through. So that's a lifestyle for me, to always be in that same space of those that are wanting to grow and to take this work to another level, and to understand everyone's point of view and perspective. It's healthy. And so there's that. And so you're adding that, incorporating it. I'm involved something. I'm in someone's spiritualist church. I'm in someone's meditation. We're holding space collectively. There are things that for me, that I do differently in my life, not only for me, but for humanity, where I get to work with so many beautiful souls that are praying and uplifting and for others. And so no, it's no longer about you. It's now for so much, not only spirit, but for those that you're working with, and for those globally that are hurting. So there are people that pray and set the intention to hold space for so many. And that's one of the things I do. And of course, I always give back to the community and share. And then you're doing the showers, you're doing the baths, and you're networking, and you're glowing, girl, in a whole nother way. Once you step into that, you're like, okay, peace out. Let me do me. I got to go. Right.
Once you start the flow, you start to glow. And
Yeah.
then glow.
Yeah. Okay, mic drop. Let me go, girl.
I'll do some raps with you if you ever want to do some raps with me. Rap.
That'll be awesome. You got that spiritual flow, that spiritual poetry flow, right?
I do my best. I have to like warm up and practice. Oh my god, that takes just that mental quickness. It really does.
Yeah.
I love words, but I have to. It's like you have to open up your brain to that capacity. I have to listen to people do it for a little bit actually, and then I can start freestyling. But if I haven't done it in a long time, I've done.
I'll beatbox for you. I'll be like,
Can you beatbox?
yeah, girl.
Can
And
you
then I'll start doing the snake for you. We'll take it back to the old school.
Wow, I can't beatbox. I can't.
I don't, I don't know, but I'll try. I'll say I'll try.
I've definitely tried. Definitely, like I've like looked at basic tutorials. You're supposed to like say beets and carrots and beets and carrots.
I'll get
I
you.
can't-
Do you remember back in the days, they used to have the cardboard boxes out, and they would start to dance and beatbox, and everybody will be like battling. Girl, we will bring the cardboard box out for you, and you can roll with your spiritual rap. I got your back. I'll be like, go, Kelly. Go, Kelly.
Have you ever attempted to break dance? Can you
Yeah,
dance like
girl.
that?
I totally used to battle the boys all the time back in the days. That's why they looked at me when I went into meditation. What are you doing here? I'm
Oh,
just, yeah.
oh man, I have to see some moves sometime.
Oh, what was the move where they used to go? You know, there
Popping
was
blocks, popping
yeah,
blocks.
we could do it. We could do it, girl.
I don't
We
know how to
got
pop.
we got this. Your listeners are like, how did we just go from spiritual talk to some beatbox?
It's all energy. As long as you're having a good time and in flow,
That's
like
it.
you're living. You're
Yes,
living.
that's
Oh my
it.
gosh. So besides breakdancing and spiritual poetry, what do you have coming up for the rest of the year, or actually going into January?
You know, I do get to work with Pete on the 6th. So me and Pete are going to do some readings. We're going to flow together. And so I think it's going to be 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock on the 6th that we're going to flow together. If you want to hear me flow in my poetry, I may not beatbox that day, but I'll work and do some words. And that'll be on the 11th, I believe. Yes, at 10 o'clock for the Love of Spirit with Jennifer Rose. She does an amazing Sunday service. You get trance healing, you get some mediumship readings in there. And of course, I will flow. But I promise, if those that are in here, I won't beatbox. I promise you.
It's a little hard on the mic sometimes.
Yeah. And of course, on Transcend with Debbie, I have guest speakers that come in. I have two great guest speakers. We have Lisa Snyder, who's going to be doing her healing. I also have Louise, who's going to be talking about grief. And I feel it's important that we hold space during the holidays and we honor our feelings and our emotions at the moment. And it's okay to be in the now. And maybe we'll do some readings in between. So we're always doing something. And we talked about that confidence. If you're wanting to work through your confidence and letting go of the ego, you can join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock. I'll be doing a class workshop on working through the confidence, and it's donation based.
And are you doing any private readings during the holidays too at this time?
I do offer private readings. If you when you go to my website, transcendwithdebbie.com, it'll take you to my email and then it'll let you come to me. Every Thursday I flow on all different platforms, whether it be IG, TikTok, or Facebook. I try my best to always give back to my listeners and followers. So you can always find me on a Thursday.
So what's your Instagram? What are
Everything is Transcend with Debbie.
everything? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. That's clean.
Clean break.
That's right. And gosh, Pete is saying looking forward to it. Bring your beats.
Yeah, I promise, Pete. I'll bring my beats because he came in rocking the other day with Jimi Hendrix when he came on my show. So he was like, "Yeah." So we'll come with some beats, Pete. We'll have you play your music.
He came in. Was he on his guitar? Was he blasting or
We
what?
came in with the music. So when we come in,
Ah,
I'm like, pick a song. And he's like, let's get some Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
that's
So we
super.
came in hot.
Oh my gosh, that's I love it. I always oh he's laughing. He's laughing. If I may ask too, with your mediumship, what kind of style, you're open to, and you're open to every thing. I know you're just like very open, but where do you find yourself growing within your mediumship, like at this point? Where do you find yourself like at? Because sometimes like maybe we're stronger feelers one year, or we get more visuals, or we get more messages. Where do you find yourself at with the energy, with how it's been teaching you?
I find myself more in trance.
Ooh.
I did a investigation, and it was really intense. I remember sitting there. They asked for spirit to come close to me. I kid you not. There's a perfect blend when spirit comes in, and you can feel their spirit come really close to the person that comes in. But for me, this was different. This was like a little orb of something flew into me. My face changed, and because you're working in the paranormal world, they have the equipment to see the change within you. And so because they were able to see that change within me, that validates evidential proof that I had the soul with me to be able to become them and move for them and speak on their behalf. I feel that has been growing in such a deeper, profound way for me as I started to do the investigations. Before going to Glen Tavern, I was already getting the impressions and getting there. And so seeing the traumatic events that happened, because a lot of the things so far that I have witnessed in the paranormal investigations that I've been part of, there are a lot of traumatic events. And so I'm getting those impressions before going. So I'm driving, I'm getting them. And so when I get there, I was sitting down. There's one room, it's 308. There's a little bench. The gentleman comes in a perfect blend, and you can feel him in my face. Kind of, I go into like an altered state, and my girlfriend's like, "Dad, girl, are you all right?" I was like, "What? What's up?" Like I didn't. And this is the power of just being in the now. I didn't dismiss them, but I acknowledged it and I kept it going. I didn't converse with them. But I can tell you this, because the building is alive, as you say, I ended up doing the message because he then came down and the cigarette smoke was so strong and I could smell him. I had him right next to me, him helping me doing my work in the reading. So really take an initiative to invite those souls that are part of that investigation to be part of my work was such a deeper connection for me. And I know that when spirit comes in, you're delivering a healing message. This was totally different because you're welcoming them in that deeper blend.
Well, yeah, you're like sharing space. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, come
It
on in, right?
yeah, come on in. My eyes, your eyes. Like, let's go. Let's do this. Definitely, let's do this. My soul, let's go. So I dedicate it to it. So I really love when it comes into that deeper connection like that. I honor it.
What are some of the intentions? Because we talked about when we started the show, we're like, whoa, what a busy year. What were some of those intentions you put out 2 years ago? What are some of your intentions now? Like more investigations? What are you excited for?
Really, I leave it in spirit's hands.
Yeah.
I'm not one to really manifest and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, other than saying I want it to be heard, like let's go in public. And that's what manifested in like, boom, I got on TV, not even in a month. And boom, I was on the the OC Paracon, the Ventura County Paracon. So Spirit's going to listen when you start to really say, what do you want? And so for me, a lot of times I just say, I'm open to what you think I'm ready for. Whatever is for my highest good, let's go. And I just honor what comes. And I said, I don't really have a real major intent to say, this is where I like to see myself. And I don't want to limit it. And I think this right here is a perfect example. I did not limit myself in any way, and everything unfolded very naturally.
Absolutely. What I like to offer the listeners too is I like to give the guest the last word, really, with an inspiration they like to leave, or impart on everyone. So is there anything that comes to mind that you really wish to share for people to know about who they are, or something important to you?
I think it's important that we honor ourselves where we are now in our journey. And this is going back to the ego. There's no comparison. It's, one's journey is different than your journey. Your wounds are different than their wounds. And how you unfold, let it happen naturally and organically. You'll be surprised. There's always gifts. Always gifts. The universe is listening. How you speak echoes back. So trust within yourself. So I'll leave you with trust, honesty, and love. Be honest and stay in your truth. So those are my words of wisdom.
I appreciate it so much. And you can catch Debbie through her website, on her platforms. And she has so many wonderful events that you can be a part of and interact with. Such a wonderful person. You always glow whenever I see you.
Oh, thank you.
Always sunshining.
Oh, so are you, girl. Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it. I do. So please, yes, catch Debbie where you can find her. And with that said, we will see you. Gosh, everyone, we're taking a week break. I will be in Tampa, so I will see you the following week from now for our interview series and our reading show. And with that, please go with love, luck, light, and don't forget to live, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.